sanctuary, and all of us. Start again. Okay, tell me when. Oh, okay. Welcome. My name is Maureen, and I would like to welcome you all to the Tuesday World Meditation. Welcome to this sacred space where distance doesn't matter, where people from all over the world can join with us here in the sanctuary, and where we in the sanctuary can join them in the sacred space of the presence and the stillness. Before we continue, I'd like to take an opportunity to have you join me in blessing this sacred space, blessing your own individual space, blessing each other with the grace and the love of God. Nasina Varkra. Okay, tonight I would like to share with you a couple of some passages from two different revelations and a little bit of my own experience. This year in January, I made a New Year's resolution that I would begin to explore the concept or the experience. I would explore the experience of restraint in my life and find out what that meant. I wanted to deepen my understanding of it. And believe it or not, this is the first time that I've actually ever carried through with a New Year's resolution. And here it is, November. So I'd like to start by reading a couple of passages here from Working with the Mind. Focusing and working with the mind is a very important topic for those who are undertaking a spiritual practice and who are seeking to comprehend the nature of the mental environment in which they live. There are many questions regarding how the mind should be approached. Most people follow the mind like resigned servants. Others struggle against the mind as if it were an evil force or a great nuisance that they must contend with. For many people, the mind is either approached as something that is followed unquestioningly or is considered to be an adversary. When you undertake a spiritual practice, you soon discover how chaotic your mind is and how your thoughts vary from one thing to another without any kind of consistency or purposeful direction. You come to recognize that there are certain patterns of thinking which lead to patterns of behavior, and this is part of your conditioning from being in the world. So working with the mind is a great challenge. To be able to still the mind, focus the mind, and direct the mind's great resources is a tremendous challenge and one that requires preparation, practice, and application. Let me begin now by giving you an idea of what a healthy relationship with your mind can look like. You have this mind that seems to overtake you, distract you, and dominate you. It seems to govern your feelings and direct your actions, almost on its own. You begin to realize this when you begin to recognize that you have a vantage point beyond the mind from which you can observe and direct it. After all, if you can observe the mind and direct the mind, you cannot be in your mind. You are out of your mind, so to speak. So this is where restraint comes in restraining your mind. The New Message talks about another point where it says, the body serves the mind and the mind serves the spirit. And that's the healthy communication flow. So if the mind is supposed to serve the spirit and it's not, and the body is serving the mind, when the mind is not serving the spirit, then the body is getting unhealthy information from the mind. So the question becomes, how do I make sure that the mind lines up with spirit? So it was kind of an important concept for me to realize that if I am not my mind, which is what another point that the new message makes, and I have a mind, then the two of us are occupying the same space. And we have a relationship. And therefore, I have an opportunity to direct the mind. Because up until I discovered this, the mind pretty much had a mind of its own. And I had to learn how to direct the mind from a conscious standpoint. So let me read a little further on. So I had to manage my mind, or learn to manage my mind. So this is from Deepening Your Spiritual Practice. Managing the mind and using the mind are a major part of your spiritual practice. In the study of Steps to Knowledge and other spiritual teachings, you learn how to train the mind to think along certain lines so that it can resonate with this deeper intelligence within you and be a vehicle for its expression. You have spent years and decades having your mind conditioned by your culture, by your family, by your friends, and by the world at large. You have been daily practicing and reinforcing all of these influences and the conclusions that you have made from them. Now you must exert real effort to redirect your mind. This is where restraint comes in. To refocus your mind and realize who you are is not your mind. You want to keep that window clear and clean. You want to learn to use the mind as the beautiful vehicle of communication that it really is, and that it is meant to be. It is the perfect servant. It should never be the master, and it makes a very poor God. You want to use the mind instead of being used by it. That is so very important. That shifts the authority from your ideas to a deeper power within you. But it is not easy to do. It is not easy to undo, to go against years and decades of social conditioning, and to learn how to reevaluate your past experiences in such a way that you can get the maximum benefit from them. Once your mind begins to serve a greater power within yourself, however, you begin to undo the foundation of its insecurity. It is insecure because it is separate, because it does not have a greater power to serve. It was designed to serve. But if it has nothing to serve but itself, then it falls into disarray, and its true capabilities are not realized. It is your spiritual practice that will bring your mind and your body into real relationship with your deeper nature. This will give you a sense of integrity. This will allow you to feel right about your life. This will give you the criteria to bring your life into balance and harmony, to withdraw from relationships and involvements that have no purpose and no future and no chance of success, to refocus your life, to reorient your life to where knowledge wants to take you and to where your heart wants to go. So part of my experience of restraint was to work with my mind, to stop it from wandering hither, thither, and yon, which has not been easy for me to quiet my mind in meditation. But I see that it is pivotal in establishing the true communication between the body, the mind, and the spirit. So here's one little technique that I have recently started to employ that seems to be helping. And in this, I start out by establishing who I am by saying, I will be still. And then I enlist the cooperation of my mind by saying, please be still with me. so that we can receive the gift that this step holds. And I'm finding that it's helping. So with that, let us prepare for a spiritual practice. Take the time, all the time that you need to read your step, and prepare to enter the stillness together. Nasino Varakara. While we're in this space, I'd like to read from Walking with the Messenger and what that means. Everyone who can receive revelation in humility and honesty will be walking with the messenger. In some degree, either great or small, they will be doing what he is doing. They will be following the pathway that he is blazing for everyone. Any true student will do this naturally because they are following knowledge, and they are taking the steps to knowledge, and they are building a strong foundation for their greater and future life through the 4 pillars of development: the pillar of relationships, the pillar of work and providership, the pillar of health, and the pillar of spiritual development. To walk with the messenger is to understand the revelation as it is pertaining to your own life and to the lives of those whom you will influence. It is a great calling, you see, but before you can give, you must receive, and you must prepare, for you are not yet ready for your greater life. You are not ready for your greater purpose, which has been waiting so long for you to begin. First, you must allow knowledge to rearrange your life, to bring harmony and balance there, integrity, purpose, and meaning. And this will take time, for there are certain things that must be undone and certain things that must be initiated and sustained. Most people are not yet able to carry out such a great preparation on their behalf and on the behalf of others, both seen and unseen, who are depending upon their development. At the beginning, people think the journey is all about them and their happiness and contentment, but it is really about something greater than these things. And they will discover as they proceed that they are learning not only for themselves, but for others, and in their own small way for the entire world. For God wills that humanity now learn a greater community way of knowledge. God wills that humanity join together out of necessity, great necessity, and urgency to preserve human civilization in the face of great change, the great change that is coming to the world. God wills that humanity prepare for its future and destiny within a greater community of intelligent life in the universe. God wills that the religions cooperate with one another, for they are all born of the same source. And ultimately, if correctly understood in the light of the new revelation, they all serve the same purpose and outcome, which is to keep knowledge alive in the world, to give people the opportunity to discover their greater life and purpose within the circumstances of the world. Here you must see that your destiny is connected with the messenger himself, for he is bringing the revelation that will reveal your greater destiny and its possibilities for the future. For you see, destiny is everything. For everyone was sent into the world for a higher purpose. Everyone. If their purpose can be discovered and fulfilled sufficiently, then someone is fulfilling their greater destiny. Nasino Varikaram. And with this, let us take a moment to remember and be with the messenger. He has just returned from a long journey and is recuperating from the pressures of that journey. So let us send him our strength and renewal as he renews his strength. Surround him and protect him with the love and grace of God. See him revived and full and ready for his next step. May it be so. Nasi Navari Karam. So thank you all for joining us this evening or this morning, wherever you are in the world. And we hope to see you next week at the same time. Thank you for coming.